Hello. CC TitleTown. We're back for episode 12. It's July 14th, Friday night. I'm your host, Chris, here with my co-host, Cameron. Cameron, how are you doing today? Tonight,
man.
However.
Yeah, it's tonight. It's what time is it? About 7? Almost 7 o'clock.
Almost 7 o'clock.
All right, Eastern time. But yeah, no, I'm good, man. We had a great finals. You know, it only went 6 games, but the NBA finals were definitely filled with a lot of stories other than basketball.
Yeah, it was like a very drama-filled NBA finals, you could say.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, there's a bunch of different things going on with inside the NBA. Not only just the finals, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Which is awesome. Which, you know, the viewing ratings were down, but I personally enjoyed watching the finals.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, like I don't know. I liked it better than watching another rerun from LeBron and the Warriors.
Right. No, I agree. I was glad to see that it was another team other than like a LeBron-led team.
Right.
And it was in the Warriors, you know, it was interesting to see. It was just, I guess, fun to watch them. Obviously, you don't want KD or Clay to get hurt. None of those guys to get hurt.
Right.
But to see them compete, you know, when they were down a lot of guys.
Right, to have that adversity that they haven't seen.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And they really, they fought their ass off, man. They really did.
Yeah.
It was fun to watch them play, you know, and compete that hard.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like I said, I always like to see the underdog team win, and I think a lot of people weren't giving the Raptors credit through the regular season, even through some of the playoffs. Like,
yeah,
nobody was like, okay, watch out for the Raptors through the whole season. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was Milwaukee, Boston, Philadelphia, you know what I mean? Even including us, like neither of us was like, hey, watch out for the Raptors.
No,
you know
exactly.
I mean?
Yeah, we kind of slept on them.
Yeah, which is awesome, which is great. But side note, we have a little bit of an announcement to make before we really get rolling onto the episode.
Yes, yes.
It's been a while since we had an episode, over 2 weeks.
About 2 weeks.
It's been about 2 weeks, yeah. We have, or we will have, a new headquarters for CC TitleTown Podcast, which is actually really awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
We're gonna have a little studio type deal going on, but along with that, because you know that doesn't mean much to you guys if you can't really see it. So added on to that, we're gonna be introducing video to the podcast. So those who are interested will be able to now watch us do the podcast in person.
Yes.
It's not going to be like a Facebook Live thing. It'll be like an actual like YouTube podcast where you see the recording happen. It'll be a lot of the raw material. Like if, you know, whatever it may be, you won't see a lot of cut and edit stuff on the podcast as far as the video part.
Yeah, we're going to try and keep it pretty, you know, authentic, you know, and have, like Chris said, we're not going to edit it a ton. We'll edit it some, obviously, to, you know, but
keep it professional.
To keep it professional, you know, and everything. But we're not going to, you know, it's not going to be a TV production.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
like when we're refilling our Jack and Cokes, you're going to see us refill our Jack and Coke. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
It's going to, you know, be for the most part, you know, raw video, which will be cool. I think a lot of people will actually like to see us in person, what we look like for those who don't know.
Yep.
And when we do get into those, you know, topics that we, you know, don't agree on, they'll be able to see it on us, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, they'll be able to see you'll be able to see the facial expressions.
Right. They'll get a better feel for how the podcast really is rather than just listening.
Exactly. Yeah. Sometimes, you know, that you don't get that other element to it when you're just listening to us, but now that you can listen, you'll be able to listen and see us. We feel like you guys will get a lot more out of the podcast.
Absolutely. And that's not going to change for those who just like to listen, you know, on your car rides on to work or whatever. That'll stay the same. Just for those who want to, we'll be able to go and see the video part of it.
Yep.
And hopefully, I think within the next 2 or 3 episodes, we'll have that all set up. Obviously, you know, those who follow us on Facebook, where we do most of our chats to our listeners, we'll have a better insight of when that's going to happen. We'll obviously let you guys know too, and when we get closer to that.
For sure. Yeah,
So,
it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. I'm actually really excited for that. But yeah, anyway, let's get back to what we were talking about, the finals. We left off, just, talking about the Raptors. Like we said, they are kind of the underdogs. And there's a lot that goes into this, but I think, watching myself personally, I give Kyle Lowry a lot of criticism. Like, I think I was calling him a non-all-star a few episodes back.
Yeah.
But in the finals, he played his ass off and stepped up huge.
He really did.
Offensively, especially.
He did. And he was a dog on defense. Granted, he made some stupid fouls sometimes.
Right.
But he's just being aggressive,
Yeah.
That's his style of play. And he, like you said, he really stepped up and showed, hey, I'm not the same Kyle Lowry from,
Exactly.
previous years. Like, I'm here to play and I'm here to step up. And, he's been one of the faces of the franchise.
For sure, definitely.
He's the longest tenured Raptor, so he's been there for a while. And for him to play well and for them to win a championship, that was really awesome to see.
Definitely. No, I think, it's been a long time coming for them. I kind of feel bad for DeMar DeRozan just because, they got not quite to this position a lot, but they always made deep runs. And Kyle Lowry was never he would disappear in the playoffs or the conference finals. And, a lot of it, would come down on him and DeMar. And then the trade happened, obviously. And, but there's no way DeMar would have been able to lead them.
Oh, absolutely. Well, DeMar DeRozan's not the player that Kawhi Leonard is.
Right.
Let's be honest.
And I think
everyone knows that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think the roster that the Raptors have, the addition of Marc Gasol, Pascal
Siakam.
Yeah,
yep. He really
he's a
improved.
baller.
Yeah,
especially in the playoffs.
He improved a lot this year.
So they had a really good, well-rounded team.
Van Vliet,
bro,
another
dog.
Yeah,
he's a dog.
Yeah.
And they all stepped up big in the finals too, which was awesome to see. I think Kawhi proved to a lot of people he definitely earned this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, with the whole issue with San Antonio, like he said in his conference, him sitting out that year, everybody was bashing him for it.
Man, and I don't think I was too critical of him, but I just kind of wondered myself. I'm like, is he hurt?
Just everybody. Everybody was just
yeah.
Okay, what's really going on? Is there something more than just, hey, I'm doing this for myself and my health, or was there more to it with the San Antonio, front office and the relationship between them and whatnot?
Yeah.
But, God, did it pay off big time. I mean, 1 year back in the league with a brand new team, and they go all the way and win the finals against a two-time champs.
I mean, yeah, Kawhi Leonard has shown that he deserves to be in the conversation as best player in the world. I mean, with this finals,
Boardman gets paid, baby. Boardman gets paid.
Man, yeah, that's Kawhi's trash talk.
But it's crazy though. I don't know. In the finals, it obviously sucked to see Kevin Durant be out. He was out for the whole finals, wasn't he?
Well, essentially, other than 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. So.
And then.
Because
he didn't play any games besides Game 5, right?
Yep, that was it.
Okay.
That was it. No, he didn't. Yeah. He got hurt in Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals.
Right, and then sat out till Game 5 of the finals.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and then obviously Clay went down with that, injury, which sucked really bad. Obviously we don't wish those type of injuries upon anybody, but
no,
it was definitely a clean play by Danny Green. I mean,
yeah, he's going for the ball.
There wasn't the slightest intent of any type of maliciousness or anything to the extent of trying to hurt him at all.
No, he was just trying to make a play, and Clay just landed awkwardly.
Right.
And anyone that lands like that in that position is probably going to blow their knee out.
Right. It's just, it was just an unfortunate, obviously, event in the finals. But do you think, I guess a question that I have for you is, do you think those injuries to those players take away from the Raptors' finals performance?
I don't want to say it takes away, because we cannot take credit away from the Raptors and what they did. They were able to beat, like you said, the 2-time defending champs. The other guys on that team also won championships.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, they're not Kevin Durant or Klay Thompson.
Right.
But, 10 years from now, nobody's going to really remember that those guys were injured. They're going to remember that, the Toronto Raptors were 2019 NBA champions.
Right.
So I don't think I don't want to take anything away from the Raptors, but it is worth noting. You can put it like a little footnote if you want, in the history books. Kevin Durant played 12 minutes in the series, and Klay Thompson missed Game 3 and was out for the crucial Game 6.
Right. The second half, essentially.
Yeah.
Well, fourth quarter, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So there is something to be said for that. I think if Klay Thompson is healthy, they win that game. Dude was on fire.
Right.
Had 30 points in like 32 minutes or something like that.
Right.
So you can't tell me that him being out in the fourth quarter didn't make a difference, because it did.
Oh yeah.
So
no, I definitely agree to that extent of what you're saying. And as far as for those who listened to the last episode, I would definitely take the L on saying that the Warriors are a harder team to defend without Kevin Durant.
Man, thank you, because I knew we were going to get to that, and
right.
Maybe
it's too early to get, but I definitely will take the L on that.
Everyone needs to take the L on that has ever said that the Warriors are better without Kevin Durant.
Right.
Please just don't ever. No.
Right.
That's a mistake.
And I think that, definitely. Like I said, I'll take the L on that one. But what I won't take the L on is when we talked about Steph Curry, as good as he is, and I'm going to say it right now, everyone will see the true Steph Curry next year with no Klay, no Kevin Durant. Even if they both re-sign, they'll both probably will not play next season. I think they already said Kevin Durant will not. Or he's expected to not.
Right.
He already had the surgery, and that went well. But you will see the real Steph Curry next year and how he can lead a team or cannot lead a team. I bet you, I'm guessing a 5-6 seed as the leader without their superstars.
Okay.
Because DeMarcus Cousins is going to leave.
Yep.
He's gone. I'm guessing KD leaves and Klay stays, but the Warriors said that they want to get both on max contracts, which would –
it'll be irrelevant because they'll be out most of the season.
Most of the season. So that's what I'm saying. Like, they will be a first, second round exit in the playoffs. Steph Curry is not in that tier.
But nobody has really put him in that tier, is what I would argue.
Bro, they were saying like 3 years ago, it was all, they were saying he was better than LeBron James.
I got you, yeah.
That he was put in that tier.
Yeah.
He was put in that tier. He shouldn't be. He is easily the best shooter ever.
Mm-hmm.
Fine, have it. You're not a top 5 player in the NBA. To lead a team, excuse me. If I'm starting a franchise, I'm not picking Steph Curry in the top 5.
Okay. Now, I heard a great discussion on First Take earlier today that I think really a lot of people need to listen to if you're, trying to discuss basketball. When you think about the greatest players of all time, look at how big they were.
Mm-hmm.
All of them about 6'6"
or bigger
and up.
Right.
Wings usually. Unless you go back further than about 30 years.
Right.
And you had Wilt, Kareem, Shaq even.
Mm-hmm.
After 30 years ago. But anyways, those guys were all big. They were all wings. They could all slash and get to the basket. Great mid-range game. A lot of them were good defenders.
Which he is not.
Which he's not bad. He's not terrible.
He's below average. Van Fleet was eating him up, bro.
Okay. All right, yeah.
A lot of it was on
maybe
3-point shots.
Again,
but, anyway.
Let me get to my point.
Sorry.
My point is that, I think a lot of people jumped the gun on Steph, a few years ago when they won, saying that he's better than LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's not. Never was, never will be. So my point is you can't be considered one of the greatest players in the game unless, you're a guy that's 6'6" and above.
Right.
The physicality that it requires.
Right.
Steph has limitations.
Yeah.
You can't teach the size. Like, he's only about 6'3", I think.
Mm-hmm.
Smaller, slight build. Great shooter. And that's why he's, so great in today's NBA and that's why he's able to be as successful as he is, at his size.
Right.
Because of his shooting and his ball handling.
Right.
And he's a good passer as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that, like I said, everybody was judging, was premature on the fact that Steph is one of the best players in the game. He can't be because of his size. He has limitations. People look at Allen Iverson. Max Kellerman calls him maybe the best player inch for inch of all time.
Right.
Because of his limitations, he was not able to be as efficient, but he still made dazzling plays. A guy 6 foot, coming into the league, dunking over 7-footers.
Right.
Making, breaking people's ankles and, doing what he did to lead that 76ers team to the finals.
Right.
So I don't think Steph can be the greatest player in that conversation.
Right.
But you got to give him credit now because I know he's a little suspect in the finals, but he did drop 47 in Game 3 without Clay.
Right.
He did all he could.
Right.
People were praising LeBron for doing that when he was short, guys.
Right.
Right? So I just don't look. Like I said, you can't put Steph in that conversation. I don't think he deserves that criticism anymore, because we've now seen that, and we now understand that in order to be in that conversation and to be able to receive that criticism, like LeBron gets, like KD gets, like Kawhi gets, you have to be able. You got to be in that like conversation of best player in the NBA, and Steph is not. He's a step below.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't say he's far behind.
But so if you're in that step below, I don't think you deserve the same criticism as those guys get, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
I think what you're getting at.
Go ahead, sorry.
I think what you're kind of getting at is everyone putting Steph up on a pedestal.
Right.
You're kind of getting at those players, not necessarily Steph.
Right. Wait, I'm sorry.
People.
Say that again.
So
okay, yeah, those people. Yes.
Everyone that puts Steph up, on this
I'm trying to get them to
best.
come back to reality. Here.
Right. I think that's kind of what you're getting at.
Yes. I don't want this to sound like I'm taking away from how great he is.
Yeah.
But he isn't up there where I feel like a lot of people had him for the longest time.
Right.
And I am totally on board with your point. It's just like big man, like Shaq. Most dominant player ever, but he has flaws. He can't do anything outside of the paint,
right? Which
makes him limited, like you were saying. He could. I mean, to me, he's the best center ever. Most dominant player in the NBA.
Shaq?
Yes, I'll take him.
Kareem?
Yes, I will take Shaq.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
But anyway, he has those limitations. He can't dribble the ball. He can't shoot jump shots.
Young Shaq could dribble the ball down the court.
But we're talking about limitations.
Right.
It's not like a 6'6" guard.
Right.
Like you said.
A wing.
Right.
Yeah.
So I can agree with that. And yeah, I guess, we can agree on the same thing because my whole thing is Steph's been this, to me, I looked at him as, like we said, the best shooter. But look how cocky he's been the past 3 seasons. Look how cocky that team's been. And, he's got to take the heat now. He's taking the heat. I don't care. He's taking the criticism because he's been asking for it for 2-3 years now.
Okay.
You got to man up and say, hey, I got to do better. He's been the best player on that team when KD's not. You got to come out and say, hey, I got to do better.
Well, he came out and kind of said that in his press conference. He's like, this loss basically is more motivating than a win.
Right.
So
as it should be.
Yeah.
So I feel like you said, he doesn't deserve the criticism as those top tier players do. I feel he does. He deserves more than anybody on the Warriors team, including Kevin Durant.
Well, yeah, you can't really criticize Kevin Durant for anything because he's been nearly flawless.
Right.
Since he's been there.
Right. So, I mean, who else is to blame?
Draymond. Let's not even get started on him.
I mean,
yeah, 7 turnovers last night?
I think
granted,
he played 8.
He was hitting the boards hard.
Right.
But he had a lot
that
of
board
turnovers.
man is not getting paid.
No. The only board man getting paid is going to be Kawhi Leonard.
Right. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I am so excited to watch next season because the Warriors are going to flop so bad compared to what everybody's been used to.
Well, that's to be expected. Look at who they're missing.
But that's what I'm saying. Look at all these people that are thinking so highly of Steph. Go back 3 months, middle of the season.
Mm-hmm.
People are saying Steph is in that tier.
Yeah.
He hasn't had to be. He hasn't had to be, the best player on his team because he had Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
But when he dropped 47, everybody, Steph dropped 47. Remember when LeBron, like you said, LeBron was snapping off when he didn't have Kyrie or Love?
Mm-hmm.
Bro, he ain't had no help, bro. Everybody was injured. And I didn't give LeBron credit. I don't want to hear about it. You got to win. You're the best player on your team. You're the best player on the planet. Steph, you're the best player on your team. You're not the best player on the planet, but you were considered that years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to hear that. There's no excuses. You got to do better. You got to come out with a win. You're down. I mean, you're winning with like 5 minutes to go. You're the best player on the team. I can't keep saying on the court anymore because Kawhi was better than Steph Curry.
Right.
But he's getting the blame.
I look, some blame is fair. He had an off shooting night. I think he was 6 for 17. Mind you, if anyone wants to bring that point up, 3 of those were like 3/4 court shots.
Right.
So you got it 6 for 14, essentially.
Right. Just 45%, something like that.
Yeah, not great.
Not bad.
Not bad either. So, Steph is, like I said, he's limited. He can't get to the basket like those guys. He can't necessarily draw fouls by going to the basket like those guys. He's going to get his shot blocked. He's short. Mm-hmm. He's shorter than most.
Right.
So, yeah, he does deserve some criticism because he didn't, they didn't get the job done.
Right.
And he was the best player on the court for most of the time, or for the Warriors at least.
Yeah.
He was the best player on their team other than 12 minutes that Kevin Durant was in.
Exactly.
So,
I'm totally on board with that.
So I agree.
The type of criticism you gave Harden is kind of how I feel like he should be getting.
Oh, let's not even get on Harden.
Harden's
bigger, for one. He gets more fouls called than anybody in the league.
Because he's the best at it.
Whatever you want to call that.
Just like Steph's the best shooter.
Okay.
That's why he,
okay. But at the same time, Harden is a lot less efficient. Harden does not do anything without the ball.
Well, the only way Steph scores is without the ball to get open shots.
What do you mean?
Steph
he creates his own shot too.
Not the majority of the time.
Not like Harden, but at the same time, they're different players. I think Steph is better than Harden because he can get his teammates involved.
Okay, so my question now is, why doesn't Steph get the same criticism Harden gets from you?
Because Steph is the more efficient player. He's the better all-around player.
Is he a better leader on his team
than Harden?
Next year, who's going to go farther?
That's hard to say. I'd probably have to go with, I don't know how you can discount the Warriors.
I'll take Houston
because I may have to think more about this.
And there's a lot of off-season things that could happen, but I don't
know how you can. Oh, okay, if the Warriors right now down Clay and down KD, let's not even throw KD in there. Down Clay, Who does Steph have? Andre Iguodala is old.
He balled this final.
But he balled.
He can still play.
He can still play, but I'm just saying that's another year. He's another year older. That Father Time is undefeated. Like, it can fall. The train can be derailed real quick.
Mm-hmm. So what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to sit here. I was the one who was not cutting LeBron any slack back when he lost the finals without Kyrie and Kevin Love. So I'm not going to cut Steph any slack. You had Klay Thompson for 4.5 games in the finals. You lost all of your home games in the finals. I'm not cutting you any slack. What slack do you deserve from anybody? Like, you need to do better. There's no excuses. You need to do better in the finals. So, like I said, I'm not cutting any slack to LeBron. Or, excuse me, I never cut LeBron any slack. And I'm not cutting Steph any slack.
Okay.
He doesn't deserve any slack.
Look, that's fair enough to say. I understand your point.
Because I think we both agreed, like, LeBron doesn't deserve any slack from us. I think we were on the same page.
No.
Like,
yeah,
you're not getting anything from me because your players got hurt. That's the game.
You're right.
So,
but LeBron was also considered the best player in the world. Like I said, he is subject to that kind of criticism. I don't know if Steph is subject to that same kind of criticism.
Not anymore.
Because of what I said. Yeah, exactly. Right. So what? Like you just made the point. Oh well, this finals you're out. You had Clay 4.5 games. What's your excuse for losing all 3 games at home? Yada yada.
What's your excuse for losing the series? You're the better team, with or without Kevin Durant. With or without Kevin Durant.
Are they the better team?
We had them winning. We all had them winning.
I had them winning because I thought KD would be back sooner. I didn't realize that how serious that calf now turned Achilles injury was.
I mean,
I thought he'd come back game 3 or 4.
If they would have said, "Hey, KD's out the whole series," I would have been like, "Damn, maybe it's gonna be a closer series. It'll go 7, but they're gonna win." I don't think there was any like a serious doubt. Like, okay, that's definitely gonna change everything. I see the Raptors winning in 6.
Right.
I don't think anybody thought that, including you and I.
Yeah. No. I guess you're right on that.
Now after watching it, like, okay, damn, the Raptors can ball.
Yeah.
And they played unreal. They played so good.
They did. Their role players stepped up. You know, obviously Kawhi.
Yeah. But I'm not cutting Steph any slack. He's not getting any. Well, this and that, this, that, and the other. No.
I mean,
go win. Like you said to Harden, go win the game. Go win the series. I'm not trying to hear nothing else. Go win.
Look,
at the end of the day.
I get that, but the criticism with James Harden is if you're going to be a ball hog, essentially, all right, well, go win the damn game then because that's what you're supposed to do because the ball's in your hand. I don't even know what his usage rate is, but it's insane.
No, I agree.
The next person is Russell Westbrook, and I think his usage rate is 10% or 11% lower than Harden's.
Right.
So my criticism with Harden is he doesn't make anyone else better.
That's fine. But, bro, the Warriors are loaded. We have the same opinion on Draymond Green. I think he is so overrated in the NBA. He is so overrated. He's not going to get nearly a contract that anybody else on that Warriors team is going to get because he's so overrated.
Mm-hmm.
But he played well in the finals. His turnovers were not good.
Right.
He had 2 triple-doubles in the finals.
Okay.
He played decent. Now, we don't agree on DeMarcus Cousins. When they switched to their rotation, their bench players, he was the key guy they went to, and he played well. Before his injury, he was the best center in the league.
Yeah, but before his injury.
Okay.
He was not an all-star.
Name 3 better centers than him now.
He was not an all-star.
This year?
In that league. No.
Wait, is that what you're talking about? He's not an all-star this year?
He wasn't an all-star in this finals.
Not on the Warriors team? His usage rate, whatever that even is, it's a stupid stat that the NBA comes up with. He doesn't get touches.
You should educate yourself on that.
Bro, those stats are ridiculous, and they're way overplayed, and they don't mean anything.
I mean, usage rate tells you basically how much you've got the ball in your hands.
We talked about this before. I don't believe in all that stupid stats.
Look,
bro.
Some of it is relevant.
It's only relevant when they lose. It never gets brought up when they're winning or he's averaging 30 and he scores 30. When Harden scored 30 points in 30 straight games, nobody talked about his usage rate.
Yeah.
They only talked about when he didn't get 30 points.
Right.
That's my point.
Okay. I gotcha. But look, DeMarcus Cousins, he is on this Warriors team. He was not an all-star.
No, he wasn't.
So
he wasn't. Was he used like an all-star?
No.
They didn't run plays for him often.
No. But did you see? I mean, there were times where, man, the old DeMarcus would have went to work when he got the ball down in the post. But he's not quite back yet. He just injured his quad.
He was the best center out of both teams. I'll take him over Marcus Gasol, excuse me.
I mean, okay, but that's not really saying much.
I mean, it's saying something. I mean,
it's not saying much though because centers in this series weren't really used.
Because the centers will never be used on the Warriors. That's a fact.
Right.
That it's just not in their system.
I understand.
They picked him up because, hey, we can get him for $5 million. Why the hell
and it's
not?
DeMarcus Cousins.
Right.
Like, let's see what
because
what can
because
here.
It's DeMarcus Cousins.
Right.
Right.
Look,
big ass
I'm
name.
I'm not saying that he's a bad player. I think he's a good player, but he just didn't fit with this team. I don't know. I mean, there was no
but we can't sit here and act like he's a scrub. We can't sit here and act like Draymond's a scrub. Even though I don't even like Draymond, I think he's overrated. He's in like a fourth tier to me. Like, he's not up there.
So who's in the? What are your tiers? I guess.
I mean,
who you got in the third tier? I already know first and second, but who's
I'd have to think about it. I don't even know. God, I mean,
I guess we're kind of getting off on a tangent.
Yeah, that's like
here,
I'd have to like really look at some players and
I gotcha.
Put things around. But anyway,
DeMar DeRozan.
Nah, he's 2 tier for me.
Okay.
I'll put John Wall at tier 3 though.
Yeah, after this, yeah.
I mean,
okay.
Levine's probably a tier 3 for me. As an all-around player, he's not tier 2 yet.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess Draymond's probably a more tier 3 than a 4.
Yeah, I was gonna say
tier 4 is reach.
Well.
But
his attitude is tier. Not even.
He sucks. I don't care. Anyway, the Warriors still had a good team. I mean, Iguodala put up 20-some points yesterday.
22.
He was hitting ridiculous. Like, he was playing out of his mind.
Yeah.
Draymond, DeMarcus Cousins, Steph Curry. I mean,
look,
those are. I mean,
you just said Draymond is trash, but essentially he's overrated, right?
Yes.
Okay.
He's more overrated than what his stats say. Like, his stats say he's better than I think he is.
Gotcha.
I think his attitude and all that plays a role in why I think he's underrated.
Right.
Or, overrated.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he played well in this finals. We both said that.
But
like, he played
turnovers
well.
in this last game were crucial.
Absolutely.
They had a lot of turnovers. I don't have the exact number in front of me, but they turned the ball over way too much to even make it as close of a game as it was.
Right.
But yeah, look, DeMarcus Cousins, great player before his injury. He didn't fit with this team. So look, if you got pieces that don't fit with your team, I can't sit here and say like that you've got a great team.
Well, sorry,
you have a better team than the Raptors.
Right.
After seeing what I saw, the Raptors obviously they had the better team.
Right.
Minus KD.
Right.
You put KD on that team, then it's a whole different story. The Warriors probably win.
Okay, so are they a better team with Clay?
Yeah, they're a better team with Clay.
No, are the Raptors a better team than the Warriors with Clay?
It's almost a push, and then I think when you add Kawhi to the mix, like he's gonna prevail.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I made my prediction based on the
Kevin
fact
Durant
that I thought
back.
Kevin Durant would be back.
Right. I think
so
a
that's
lot
why
of people
I thought
did.
Warriors in 6.
Obviously, I think a lot of people did.
And I obviously we're not connected at all to knowing anything. We just hear what we hear that is reported.
Right. No.
So
I agree.
And that injury was obviously more serious than we all thought.
Right. And we'll get on this topic in a little bit with the injury.
Mm-hmm.
But another thing that I am not a fan of just with Steph Curry is Steve Kerr. Everyone praises Steph Curry when he does good. Nobody bashes him. You're talking about how players don't fit in the system. You're supposedly one of the best coaches in the league that's won 2 champions in a row. And you got a former All-Star in DeMarcus Cousins and the best center in the league, and you're going to tell me you can't find a way to make him work in your system?
I mean,
when you sub Steph Curry out, Klay Thompson out, Draymond Green out, he's obviously the best player on the court against the Raptors bench, and you're going to tell me you can't find something to work for him? I'm not trying to hear it, and I'm not trying to hear it from Steve Kerr either, because he overrated head coach in my opinion too.
Oh man, jeez, just hating on everybody today.
You could say that,
hating
but
on everyone.
Nobody's talking about it. Nobody's talking about how did Steve Kerr. You know what I mean? Like everybody's talking about Steve Kerr's the best coach in the league, but nobody's saying nothing now about him.
I gotcha. Look,
and go ahead. Sorry.
Look, man, like
coaching in the NBA is overrated. Players do what they want anyway.
I would tend to agree with that unless you're Pop or,
That's about it.
Phil Jackson.
Maybe he
not
doesn't even coach.
Yeah, right. He had 2 of the best players in the game. But anyways.
But you see what I'm saying? Like
I get what you're saying.
I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, well, DeMarcus Cousins didn't fit in the system. Bro, Steve Kerr, you find a way to make him fit in the system. Coming off the bench, playing 25 minutes a game, make something work.
Look, but DeMarcus Cousins, for one, like, he had some decent games in the regular season, right?
He didn't play the whole season either.
He came back like the
after All-Star break.
Yeah, I think after the All-Star break, around that time
with a brand new
February.
team.
Yeah, brand new team. So of course he's got to somehow integrate himself, and Steve Kerr's got to find ways, which I think he did during the regular season. But then he gets hurt in the playoffs. And then it's like, oh, okay, great. Now, so they were flowing, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Warriors were flowing. The way they looked against Portland, without KD even,
right,
like, was nuts.
Right.
Like, they swept Portland, all right? And now, Boogie's back for the finals. Okay, now now you're down KD, and now you got Boogie coming back. What do you do to integrate him? Like, I'm not saying, like, I agree. Yeah, you got to find a way. But, man, that's no easy job.
I mean,
it's no easy task at all.
It's kind of like
to mesh him with a team that you had 3 years ago, pre-Kevin Durant, free-flowing,
mm-hmm.
and you try and mix in someone who can clog up the middle.
Right. But
in DeMarcus Cousins.
It's kind of like we talked about with Brogdon from Milwaukee. And they how we said, like, Brogdon's not a player you just throw into the starting lineup back to his 35 minutes a game, right? Same with DeMarcus Cousins. He's not that player right now, and he's not ready to do that. But him and the organization knew he was going to come off the bench. He's only going to get 20 to 25 minutes a game. It's not like they threw him in the starting lineup and said, hey, we're throwing you in the starting lineup. Get ready to clog up the lane. He's coming off the bench playing against subs for other teams normally without Clay
mm-hmm.
and Steph on the court.
But did he not have like you kind of said, like, he had a decent finals for coming off the bench.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to sit here and say that he's a huge, huge factor.
They didn't let him. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, where was he able to be a factor? Like, when he was playing, he played well, like we said.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
But he's also a defensive liability.
So is Steph.
Dude, Boogie cannot move his feet on defense.
No, yeah, I mean...
At least
like you
Steph
said, but he's guarding Marcus All.
Steph can stay in front of somebody. He may get pushed off the spot, but because he's smaller. But I think Steph is
and like what you just said, they took advantage of DeMarcus Cousins I think it was in the middle of the fourth quarter. Yeah,
they made him on those pick and rolls, man.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So you get Steph out there guarding somebody, and then you're switching him with Boogie. That's terrible.
Everybody has liabilities. Everybody picks on Steph in the pick and roll. They're like, hey, let's get the switch.
Yeah, but then you got someone switching like Clay or Draymond. But when you got Boogie out there, they're gonna pick on him.
It's the same way they pick on Steph. Teams pick on Steph Curry.
I'm saying, like, you put those two defenders in a pick and roll, it's over for them. If you put Steph out there.
If you put what two defenders in a pick and roll?
Steph and Boogie. It's over for the Warriors. The other team's gonna score.
Right, but how often were they on the court together?
Enough, apparently.
I mean, I don't think they played that much together.
I mean, not a ton, but okay, with Clay and everyone being out, Steph was out there most of the time. So most of the time Steph's out there, Boogie's probably out there.
Right.
That's
fine. I'm just saying, like you said, like, the Warriors had a good enough team to win.
They did, but I mean,
look, there you go doing that, but I mean stuff. I mean, I'm not buying it. You got a good enough team to win.
I don't know. I really don't think. I mean, Kyle Lowry's better than the second best player after Clay and KD are out.
So you're saying
Kawhi
obviously so Steph, Clay, Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's their three best players.
Okay,
Kyle Lowry's barely the second best player on the Raptors. He might not be the second best.
And Siakam is better than any third player or second player that they had when Steph and when it's just Steph out there, right?
Right. Yeah, I'll take Siakam all day over anybody else besides Steph. Well, maybe Draymond depending, but still.
Again, they were deeper.
So you're just making excuses at this point.
I mean, I'm not making an excuse for Steph. Look,
for the Warriors in general.
they were down their best guys.
Steph Curry's the second best player on the team.
Okay.
So what's the problem? They didn't have Kevin Durant the whole finals besides those 12 minutes. So what do you think they're waiting like, man, I hope we get KD back. Man, I hope we get KD back. No, they're fired up, ready to go, thinking they can do it without him, like they said.
Honestly, the way that things were handled with KD's injury, which we'll kind of transition into at some point, I think maybe they were that was in the back of their mind, like, man, when's KD going to come back?
I wouldn't be shocked.
So, like, what I'm saying, though, is you just said, about the Raptors. Look, the Raptors were deeper, as we saw.
Yes,
right?
definitely. Yeah. When Klay was out, they're obviously deeper.
So that's what I'm saying.
But you're talking about a game and a half. He was gone. He was there for 4.5 of the 6 games.
Do they not win Game 6 tomorrow if Klay is still in there? I wholeheartedly believe that they do. The way that he was going off, and then when he's out the whole fourth quarter, mind you, they're doing the box and one, and they're double teaming, even triple teaming Steph.
Right.
No room to move. If Klay's out there, they're more spaced out. You can't always do that on Steph. You can't always double and triple team him. Right?
Right.
Because if you do, Klay's wide open to bust a 3.
Right.
I'm sorry, but the Warriors win that game if Klay's out there. And shit, who knows? They might win Game 3 if he's out there.
Yeah, well, we're talking a whole lot of hypotheticals. These are the same type of conversations people having about LeBron James with the Cavs.
I get it.
And I'm not buying it.
And look.
Sure,
Steph,
if Kevin Love and Kyrie were playing, do you think I think they would have won? Yeah, I think they would have won. But
and then the Warriors would have won the next one if Draymond.
The only reason it's getting talked about now is because people are talking about the injuries with this finals.
I get it. Look, okay.
The Warriors had a good enough team to win without Kevin Durant and without Klay for a game and a half. They were in all of the games. They didn't finish games. They lost by 2.
4.
This game? Okay, excuse me. Yes,
because of the last 2. But
they lost by
basically a possession.
Exactly, 1 possession game essentially.
I understand that. But is Kyle Lowry okay, look, when you've got for a game and a half, when you got Kawhi matched up with Steph, I'm not saying they guard each other. I'm just, comparing the
top
2 best players at the time. Kawhi and Steph, who's better?
I'm taking Kawhi.
Obviously.
Right.
And then you've got Lowry, and you can put maybe Draymond up there.
Have to be Draymond.
Is better?
I mean,
you're crazy. You just got done trashing Draymond.
Well, what did I say? He played good in the finals. He had 2 triple-doubles in the finals.
He had 7 turnovers last night. 8 turnovers. I don't care how many assists he had.
Or rebounds.
Look, and Lowry balled out.
Right. So what about the other games when Klay was healthy?
Siakam. Put anyone up there. Anybody other than Steph.
And then after that, what?
He took over game 1, and then he killed it in
ran
game
Draymond's
6.
ass off the court. Ate Draymond up.
Draymond, come on, man.
What do you want me to say?
I'm just kind of arguing against your point.
Okay, let's do it this way.
The Raptors are better.
Okay, you said Kawhi and Steph, right? Who are we taking? Kawhi.
Yes.
Klay and Lowry.
Klay.
Draymond and Siakam.
Siakam.
I think that's fair, but it's closer. It's not like it's a blowout.
It's the way people talk about Kawhi and
DeMarcus Cousins or Marc Gasol.
For a game, it was Marc Gasol.
For a game. One game. So Klay was out there for 4.5 games, and you lost 6-2, or 4-2. Like, he missed a quarter.
He missed the money quarter. And
should have won the other games. Then this game wouldn't even have mattered too much.
I got you. Look, we're gonna agree to disagree on this because we got to get to other stuff.
I'm not making any excuses for Golden
discussion. State. Look, the criticism on Steph Curry I think is fair because of what everyone has done,
including himself.
Yeah, I don't even think that he's out there having fun.
Some people don't look at it like that, but
I don't think he's showing anyone up when he does it. It's you can tie that to the baseball thing when they do the bat flips and all that stuff, and he's just, and the NBA is a lot more fun than the MLB right now.
oh,
So
for sure.
he's out there having fun. He's not showing anybody up. And he does it a lot more when he's at home, I think.
Right.
He does it on the road too, whatever, but that's part of basketball,
Right.
man. Like,
It's for the fans.
I get on, I get on LeBron about doing that stuff. I probably do it too much just because, like,
And that's what I'm saying.
it's
That's
fun
what I'm
to
not
hit.
going to do. I'm not going to cut anybody some slack because I give LeBron the same criticism.
But look, with stuff like he's not in that tier.
Hell.
Now we need to rein in the expectations on Stephen Curry. We
So-
need to bring him off the pedestal that everyone has put him on. And I don't necessarily think that he's put himself on that because, when he's in the media and stuff and talking to people, he's a humble dude.
Yeah.
I like Steph Curry a lot as a guy. It seems like he's a really nice guy.
Definitely.
Family man.
I agree.
On the court, he's just out there having fun. He's loose. He's being himself. I don't think he's really cocky.
That's fair.
But anyways, we need to take him off of this pedestal that the media has put him on and bring him down. He's in that upper echelon of the second tier. He's knocking on the door of the first tier, which is Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, maybe the Greek Freak.
Definitely
He's,
the Greek Freak.
On there.
Harden.
I don't know if I'm ready to put Harden on there just based on his playoff performances alone. Regular season, yeah. Put him up there.
You'll see next year, Cam.
Man, I don't care.
You'll see next year.
They're not going to win nothing.
It's okay. They'll get farther than the Warriors. Fact.
Okay, when you got Chris Paul and
Chris Paul's washed up to me.
he's better than
Ne-
he's better than the second player that the Warriors got without Clay.
But depends. We'll see what happens this
Are
offseason.
you serious? Without Clay?
Bro, I'm not talking about Chris Paul anymore.
Look,
He's way overpaid.
James Harden and Chris Paul are better
Who
than
you taking,
just
Steph or
Curry.
Harden? I'll take Harden.
To win.
He's got that 6'6" body frame you was talking about.
Yeah, but he don't do nothing else.
Doesn't need to.
He shoots from three.
He gets buckets.
No.
said
James Harden is not that. He reminds me of the dude that plays pickup basketball, always out there.
And runs everybody out the court.
Yeah, this ain't pickup basketball, Chris. This is the NBA. It's a
okay.
team game. Teams win championships, not individuals.
Well, I'm telling you, I bet you the Rockets go farther than the Warriors. You're gonna see the real Steph Curry next year.
I'm not saying
You're
that they
gonna
won't.
see
I'm not ready to say that they
You're gonna see the
won't.
real Steph Curry next year, and you're gonna be like, "Damn, he's like barely pushing tier 2." That's what you're gonna say.
No,
You'll see.
Yeah, so you don't think Steph Curry's a top 15 player?
Right now, yes. We've never seen him play. Okay, we've never seen him play more than a couple games without Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, all these all-stars.
Do you know what their timeout? Do you know what their record is without KD?
Not okay. Who? What? We already talked about not
Yeah.
KD. What about when Klay's not there? Well, I'm telling you, you're gonna see next season when Klay's
I'm
out
just
and
saying.
KD's out. They are gonna struggle big time.
They'll
Be barely over 5. They're gonna be like the Lakers. They're gonna be barely over 500 at the All-Star break, and they'll push a 5 or 6 seed in the West.
Man,
Watch.
what did the Lakers do this year?
Shit, fuck the Lakers. Excuse my language.
Oh man, we might have to edit that.
Yeah,
out.
we might.
Jeez.
I'm serious though.
Look,
You'll see the real stuff next year. I'm telling you.
Okay. Man, put some respect on his name.
He's a 3-time champion.
Yeah.
He can
Put
have
some
that.
respect on that, man. What is Harden?
A 0-time
Nothing.
championship.
0-time champ.
That's
You
fine.
can get all the regular season accolades that you want,
That's
but you ain't
fine.
winning nothing ever in your entire career.
We'll
ever.
see.
Unless you go back and play with KD,
That ain't happening.
which ain't happening. So
No.
you ain't never getting nothing, James Harden.
We'll see.
And all you James Harden lovers out there, nothing. He's the most inefficient player I've ever seen.
He can be that. That's fine.
He ain't winning nothing.
You'll see next year. Steph's usage rate's going to be just behind Harden's when he's chucking up threes all game. You'll see, because he
And-
can't get to the rim, like you said.
Yeah.
He ain't got no mid range, like we both said.
No, he's got a decent mid range.
Yeah, decent ain't gonna get him to the finals. Anyway, we're moving on.
All right, on to man. That was heated, man. Let's discuss KD.
I could have kept going. Okay, let's discuss KD. What about him?
Do you think that the Warriors? You know what? Timeout. First off, I already said this, but I want to say this again, just so that you guys can, just so that it resonates with you guys, with everyone out there listening that thought the Warriors were better without KD. You got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
The Warriors would have ran through, as we saw in a quarter, what the Warriors looked like with Kevin Durant. In one quarter, they were about to run through the Raptors. The Raptors didn't know what hit them. They didn't know what to do out there. They couldn't guard anybody because the floor was spaced so well.
Yawn. I told you I was wrong and that the Warriors are 10 times better with KD, but they're not going to just run right through the Kawhi Leonard. Bro, I'm not
They were
saying
winning
that.
in 6, and that's being generous. If KD is there
The whole series?
Yes.
You're talking a lot of hypotheticals still, Cam.
I know. I know. But I'm just saying, for everyone out there that thought KD
I totally, like I said, I take the L on that.
I'm glad you did, but I just want to make sure that everyone else listening, because I know some of y'all thought that the Warriors were better without KD. You're insane.
Right. That was plain to see. Totally agree.
Moving on to his injury, how do you think the Warriors handled that? Like, who's at fault here? I don't really know what all went on.
This makes Kawhi's decision not to get off. Kawhi's decision to go see doctors outside of San Antonio's organization, and his decision to sit out that whole season. This only verifies that.
Yeah.
This only makes that look so much better, and you're going to see a lot more NBA players doing that on these injuries.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was rushed back. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say the doctors lied and said he was good. He was good to go when he wasn't, but he obviously wasn't 100%. They knew he wasn't 100%, but people play when they're not 100%. That's normal.
Right.
Right? You know, that's normal for players to go play, especially in the finals when they're not 100%, but I think he already went to a doctor that wasn't in the Warriors organization.
Yeah.
He got the hell out of there.
I mean, that's fine.
It doesn't look good, but people aren't going to talk about it because it's the Warriors. They don't ever get talked about in a bad way. I swear they don't.
Well, yeah. I mean, why would the doctors? I mean, they're part of the organization, but they have nothing to do with their basketball, the way they do run basketball. So I wouldn't expect people to talk bad about the Warriors doctors.
No, but the Warriors in general.
To that point.
Did the Warriors rush him back?
Look, based on the information that is available to everyone, to us, I mean, I don't think they rushed him back because they thought there was the only thing that could happen was re-injury of the calf, right?
Right.
Now, like, I thought this, like, when it first happened, I'm like, well, the calf is connected to the Achilles.
Right.
But then, you know, you had the doctors come out, and several doctors have said, you know, just throughout medical history, like, yeah, they're connected, but there's no real correlation to if you have a strained calf, you're more likely to rupture your Achilles.
Right. That's
not really there's no correlation, I guess.
You saying it's just bad luck?
I don't know if I don't know if they misdiagnosed him.
Right.
But the thing is, KD went and sought out, a second opinion, which, hey, that's fine. Like, if a doctor tells me something, whether it's bad or good, okay, well, let me just go confirm, or let me just go, oh, no, I don't like that result. Let me go see if another doctor thinks it.
Yeah.
I'm going to go get a second opinion no matter what.
Right, whether it's good news or bad news.
Good news or bad news, if it's something
totally
serious.
Right.
That could be serious.
Right.
So I don't think there's anything like, oh, people are making a big deal of him going to New York and seeing a doctor. Whatever.
There's the best doctors probably are in New York. That's
right.
why.
New York, LA, big cities.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. I have no problem with that. I don't think the Warriors, based on the information that supposedly they had, I don't think they rushed him back.
Right.
And I think it was just kind of a freak thing.
What about those fake tears that their general manager was crying on the podium?
I don't know if they were fake or not. I can't really tell. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Well, you'd be giving too many people the benefit of the doubt.
Look, and that's just who I am, man.
Except when it comes to LeBron.
Yeah, well, like I said, he's on that tier of being the best player in the world ever, so that he gets the criticism. anyway, I thought what got me was like, okay, Kevin Durant, when he said that Kevin Durant is one of the most misunderstood people ever, he just wants to play basketball. Like that kind of hit. I was like, man, that's nice of him to say that.
Right.
Because he knew what was out there about KD. He knew all the media and the stories that were circling around. Like supposedly, some of his players were talking, some of his teammates were talking about him. But he kind of put out that fire, I think, by saying, look, he's misunderstood. He just wants to be out here and play basketball. He's a good teammate, this, that, and the other. So I thought that was real, whether the tears weren't or not, but what he said I thought was real.
Right.
So that's why I give him the benefit of the doubt.
I don't know.
What do you think about that?
I mean, as far as post-game conference with the general manager?
Yeah.
Or just everything in general?
Well, what's your take on everything?
I mean, obviously, I think what happened to him sucks. I don't want to say he was rushed back because I do believe he actually wanted to go out there and play.
Oh, yeah. He's a baller.
Right. He wants to be out there and play. I think that's a given. So, no, I don't think they rushed him back. I think that the Warriors were concerned for what was going on in the finals, and they felt pressure that to put him back in and play, or to say, hey, you're good to go if you're ready. Obviously, a player like him is going to say he's ready. Mm-hmm. So I think they felt pressure to have him back on the court for how the finals were going.
Yeah.
I'm not buying or giving the benefit of the doubt. But him and Draymond did not get along. In the middle of the season, they did not get along.
Yeah, I mean, but what does that have to do with this?
At some point, I do think the Warriors felt like the reports came out, we don't need him. But then they came back and bit him in the ass. And now
that's Draymond opening his big mouth, man.
And now Steph, is all. They all were saying we need him back. He's the best player in the team. We need him. They all said it then.
Yeah, they did.
Because they know they needed his exactly. But it wasn't like that in the middle of the season.
Okay, so you expect Steph Curry or Klay Thompson to go against their boy Draymond and come out and say, "Oh no, like
who do you rather have next year?"
I mean, obviously KD, but at the same time, like they're not going to disrespect Draymond.
I guess my point is I don't think the Warriors had the best intentions forward for Kevin Durant.
Gotcha.
I guess bottom line across the board. I don't think
they just wanted to win.
They didn't put his best. You know what I mean?
His best.
They weren't
interest.
looking out for KD. They were looking out for the Warriors and the championship in the finals, which some would say that's fair. But I don't. I think they were more concerned about getting him back to win the finals rather than his health.
That's fair enough to say.
Yeah. So which is why I think Kawhi got so much backlash when he did it, and he went out and sat out a whole year for I don't even remember what injury it was.
Quad.
But, it didn't sound like anything serious.
Yeah.
But imagine if he tore his hamstring. I mean, everybody, you know what I mean? Like, he could be the same situation. And it sucks that it happened to Kevin Durant, and it sucks that it happened in the finals. But, yeah, like I said, I just don't think the Warriors had their best intentions forward for Kevin Durant.
That's fair enough to say, I think.
So.
Whether I think, to kind of build off of that, I think those quote unquote, got the air quotes going on here, bad intentions were based on the fact that the doctors thought that it was just a strained calf.
Right.
So maybe, okay, yeah, hey, we want you to come back. But like you said, KD probably himself wanted to come back really bad.
To go back,
yeah. Like he wanted to be out there. He's a baller. Like anyone that has ever questioned Kevin Durant and his character and his toughness needs to just shut their mouth right now. Because this dude you saw what he risked.
Right.
He risked his whole career, essentially. An Achilles injury is the worst injury that you can have as a basketball player. That and an ACL.
Yeah. I mean,
so
we can say that now, but before that happened.
Yeah, but he wasn't. No way he could have been 100%. You don't go sitting
I know,
down
but
a
you're
month.
talking. I mean, when you said his character and him as a player, like I'm all for it, and I think looking at it now, like, it showed his integrity to want to go out there and win. But before, I still looked at him as one of the best players in the league that joined one of the best teams in the league, and that's the bottom line.
I think a lot of people.
Or am I misunderstanding what you're trying to say about?
Yeah,
his
I'm
character?
not thinking about that. I'm thinking about just him
His
wanting
love
to
for the
play
game.
basketball.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
His love
Sorry.
for the game.
Gotcha.
Whatever. Look, free agency, you can go wherever you want to go. I don't care. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just loving to play ball.
Right.
And to speak on that point just for a quick second, I think he went to the Warriors because he liked how they played. He wasn't looking at, 73 win team. He liked how they played, and he didn't like how he couldn't be Kevin Durant in OKC. That's some of the reports that I've read and some of the reports that I've heard.
Right.
From various, people on TV and all that stuff. So
I'm not
that's
going
just
down
on
that
that
lane.
That's probably a conversation for another day.
Right.
But
yeah, no, I get what you're saying, and no, I agree. He showed, that mental toughness and just the love for the game, like you said. You can't judge his basketball character anymore about his willingness to go out there and put his body on the line to win a championship.
No, and people were doing that, and that's a shame.
Right.
That's really a shame.
Right.
So.
And yeah, it sucks too, because I don't know. It's. I feel like Kawhi, when he did it, nobody showed him any love.
Right.
Everybody hated him. You had ESPN reporters hating on him, saying, I'm not respecting this man, blah, blah, blah. I just watched a video today from a year ago. I'm just like, looking at it now, I'm like, that was the best decision he could have ever made for his whole entire career.
Yep.
Was sitting out that year of basketball.
Look at him now.
And nobody's saying anything. Nobody's taking those comments back saying, man, I was wrong about him or this and that. But you know what I mean? Like,
right. And he heard that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So
it's okay. He's loving life right now.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But, yeah, so it sucks that happened to Kevin Durant. And, now I guess the real question is this going to affect his free agency? I mean, going forward.
Obviously, I think it has, obviously. Some of the reports are that the Knicks want to go hard after Kawhi.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
I mean, at this point, I feel like the Knicks are going to go after the best player they can no matter what. Yeah. And Kevin Durant getting hurt might have swayed that a little bit, but they also probably like, damn, Kawhi balled in the finals.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I mean, he proved his worth. He's going to get paid too from somebody. I think first and foremost, the report came out. I think the Warriors are going to do everything they can to re-sign Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson to max deals, which would keep their dynasty on track. Obviously, next year, it won't happen. Right. But after that, things could fall back into place if they can keep both of them, obviously. As far as Kevin Durant, do I think he wants to stay there? I honestly don't know. I don't know what he's thinking.
It's hard to say, man.
Obviously, right now with the injury, there's probably so much going through his mind. But, I don't know. To read. Yeah, he is. He's kind of like Kawhi. Like, who knows? Kawhi could go to the Clippers, and that's the last place I think he would go.
Really? Going back to L.A.?
If I was Kawhi, I mean, I wouldn't want to go there. It's like LeBron. Like, why would LeBron want to go to L.A. besides Hollywood?
Time out. The Clippers are way better than the Lakers.
But
that situation.
Do you think the Clippers are better?
Do you understand like that whole situation?
I'm sorry.
That is going on there at the Clippers?
Yeah, but what are you talking about?
Like, it's great.
I mean,
Jerry West is running the show.
Yeah,
they've got what they were able to do with that team. Doc Rivers is the coach.
It depends on what your intentions are as a player. LeBron's intentions were to go there for after basketball career, clear as day. He's not going to win another championship.
Yeah,
I don't think
he went to the Lakers, a dysfunctional franchise that hadn't made the playoffs now for 6 straight years. He went to the Lakers, not a good franchise.
I mean,
on the upswing.
Consider good?
The
Clippers haven't done anything, even when they had Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, and DeAndre Gordon,
on
and
the
Doc
upswing.
Rivers.
That's so old. That's old news. They're on the upswing.
Oh my God,
They won 2 games against the Warriors.
Okay. They're not going to – I'm not going down there. Anyway, I'm just saying, what is Kawhi's intentions? Is it to win games Is it a mix of winning games and being where he wants to be? Is it money? He's getting paid no matter what.
He's from Southern California.
So you think he's going to go to the Clippers?
I mean, I think yes. That's where I would have him going.
I think he's
because you're sleeping on the Clippers, man. Because
they ain't done nothing. They haven't done anything. I'm not sleeping on anything.
They have another slot open.
If they got him,
max player.
Sure, they'd be a way better. Yeah, they need a max player. They're like the Brooklyn Nets. They need a max player to be good.
So you don't think that he could do what he did with Toronto?
No. If just he goes there and it's the same team, they're not getting to the finals. Yeah. Let alone winning the finals.
Who would they have to go up against?
If the Lakers get a max player, say they get AD,
they got to trade for him. I'm not thinking about that right now. I'm not right now.
Well, we're talking hypothetical. If what happens in the offseason.
Okay.
Kawhi goes to the Clippers.
Mm-hmm.
The Rockets stay the same, right? I don't think they're going to make any major moves. I think they're going to keep the same team. If the Lakers get an AD, which I think they probably will, I think Clay's going to stay in Warrior.
He'll stay. They'll offer him the max.
Yes, I think KD's going to leave, and I think he's going to go to New York. That's what I think is going to happen. But he's not going to play next year.
Right. The Warriors are really out of the equation for next year.
Yeah, they're pretty, which sucks, but they are.
Mm-hmm.
The Blazers, the Lakers, the Rockets, still all going to be good.
None of those teams scare me except for the Lakers if they get AD. So then you've already got a chance.
I could see all three of those teams beating the Clippers with Kawhi.
Because we all know James Harden in his playoff.
I mean, I didn't say they're going to go through and sweep the Clippers, but it's not going to be a sweep it'll be a series.
Like Lou Williams, I mean, is he not as good as
Lowry?
Kyle Lowry?
I think as an overall player, I'll take Kyle Lowry. I mean, as a sixth man coming off the bench, I'll take Lou Williams.
Tough to say, but that's almost a toss-up. You got to look at that roster, man. I mean, it's pretty similar. If they make a couple of good moves, I'm not saying just add Kawhi, drop him right there in LA. That's it. Like they got to make a couple, and they will make a couple more moves.
And I don't see the transition being as smooth as it was in Toronto either.
Maybe not, but.
It could be. I mean,
you gotta take a look at those.
What
Clippers,
do I say?
Man.
What do I say before? You're gonna have to show me. Clippers haven't done anything. Haven't been anything for the longest time.
Neither were the Raptors. Really, they were in the playoffs and they were bounced.
Right, they've been in the conference finals at least multiple times.
Okay, but time out. No, look, you know why they are where they are. They got a new head coach. They got a new GM or president of basketball operations, and Kawhi Leonard. What more do you need?
But that's
Kawhi Leonard.
But what are you saying though? Like
I'm saying you add Kawhi Leonard to the Clippers, then they're a legitimate contender to come out of the West.
I would take two teams over them, is what I'm saying.
Okay, okay. I guess that's fair. I guess I maybe overreacted a little bit.
Yeah, sure. If he gets a year under his belt and he signs a max deal for 5 years, could I see them getting to the finals? Absolutely. I don't see it happening in 1 year like it did with the Raptors.
Gotcha.
Regardless.
Okay.
But like you said, after 1 year, then you have the Warriors back in the mix. So it's only going to get tougher.
I'm saying like next year if they make a move, get Kawhi and
sure,
and then
anything could happen. They could make the right moves, and I'm not saying they couldn't. I'm just saying I wouldn't bet on it.
Gotcha. Okay.
So,
all right. They've turned that franchise.
They did. They've drafted some good young players,
especially after losing all of their stars. Essentially,
right?
They've turned themselves into a respectable franchise again,
right?
So we'll see what they do.
Yeah, and if he even decides to go there,
yeah. Where do you think he's going to go?
If I had to guess, because we're guessing at this point, we are going off of just reports that we've read. Which, who knows if there's even accurate, because nobody ever knows what Kawhi's thinking.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Lakers are not on the table.
No, he's not going there.
He proved he does not even need to go there.
No.
I feel like it's basically Raptors or the Clippers. And if I was him, why
Why?
go anywhere?
Yeah.
I feel like the Raptors can only get better too. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's obvious. I feel like it will play a role, like you said. I feel like he wants to be in California.
It's home.
Yeah. So I could see it happening, but if I were him, why leave when it's all working so well? But then again, look how it was in San Antonio. But there's a lot of things that probably happen behind doors there. But
Yeah.
it looked like he liked it in Toronto. I mean,
Yeah.
at least after they won, you kind of saw more of like
More of
the
Kawhi's
loose,
personality.
not so tense, like basketball, win, board man gets paid. You know what I
Dude
mean? You
was
saw
a
him,
machine.
bro. He was like a robot out there. But you saw him. He had fun. He enjoyed it. He was joking. He was laughing. Like,
Yeah.
So I think he did enjoy his time there this year.
I'm a fun guy.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, shit. If you're the Raptors, you're like, hey, you know what? If he leaves, he leaves. We got a championship. The
Right.
trade. Nobody can say this trade wasn't the good thing to do
Yeah.
because it worked out. Even if he does leave.
Yeah.
And then they got plenty of money to go see what they can do. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's basically a win-win for the Raptors. And over the course of a year or two, it could be a win for Kawhi winning there, going to LA,
Yeah.
maybe winning there. So
Okay.
I think it's between those teams, two teams for me.
But you think he's gonna stay there?
I think if I were him, I would stay. So yeah, that's what I would do.
Okay.
And as far as Kevin Durant, I think it's Golden State or New York Knicks. But
Yeah.
I did read that Kyrie wants to go to the Nets with Kevin Durant.
I'll say this right now. Kyrie's going to the Nets.
That would be awesome.
He just,
honestly.
parted ways with his longtime agent, and he's gonna sign with Rock Nation. With Rock.
Yep, Rock Nation.
Rock Nation.
Which Jay-Z owns part of that.
And Jay-Z owns that, and he's minority owner in the Brooklyn Nets. Done deal. Kyrie to the Nets.
I would love that. I think that would be awesome. I hope the whole NBA shakes up this offseason.
It has.
Even if that
already.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, we got Kyrie declining options, Jimmy Butler declining options. AD is going to get traded. It's only a matter of time, I feel like. You know what I mean?
I hope he goes to Boston. That'd be something.
That would be crazy. Especially, man, with Rich Paul. Did you see what Rich Paul said?
He's not going. Yeah, he's not gonna.
If he goes there, it's for a 1 year deal,
Yeah.
like rental. Like he's going for that.
He didn't say we're going to L.A.
No.
He said we're going to free agency.
Right.
So
I mean, if you're
whatever
I guess
that
it's really not
means,
up
I'm
to
just
Anthony
looking-
Davis right now, but
I'm just nitpicking his words here, but
if you're Boston, do you do it?
I mean,
Kyrie's gone though.
look what Toronto did.
Yeah, but Kyrie's gone.
But if that's the only thing that could persuade Kyrie to come back.
Okay, so you're saying if Kyrie stays and Anthony Davis goes, it's worth it.
They gotta. The only way I trade for AD is if you get some kind of commitment from Kyrie saying, yeah, okay, if you get him, I'll stay.
Right, even if it's a 2-year deal, you know what I mean?
For Kyrie.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Even if it's one of those, short-term deals.
He's going to be looking for big money, though,
Oh,
so
yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, he deserves it, but he kind of doesn't.
Second-tier player.
Yeah, easily. I'm on with that.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I would love to see him go to the Nets. I definitely would like to see a little shakeup with the Warriors, even if that's just Kevin Durant leaving. I mean, I'm okay with Klay staying. I see Klay staying. I don't see
Clay's
Klay
gonna
going
stay.
anywhere.
Clay's, yeah. I think that's the surest thing in this free agency.
Yeah. Where's Jimmy Butler gonna go? I mean, he declined. Are they really gonna offer him the max? I don't know.
I don't think he deserves the max,
No.
honestly.
Tier 2 player?
Yeah. Tobias Harris, tier 3.
For sure.
Yep.
Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, tier 2 players for me.
Yep. Joel Embiid has the potential to be a tier 1.
Same with Simmons.
Same with Simmons, man. If he just
think
gets
about
a
it.
dang jumper.
I mean, think about it. He's young. In 3 years, if he can develop a jumper over 3 years, he should be able to. He'd be running the league. He'd be like another Greek freak.
I mean,
A little different, but he's got
better ball
it.
handler for sure.
Right, and passer.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so I am very anxious for what the rest of this offseason and free agency has to bring. I think the Bulls are going to do absolutely nothing. Probably trade away their best player, Zach LaVine. We just heard they're the third team
Please
for the
no.
AD trade. So we'll probably get Lonzo Ball which is whatever at this
Tier
point.
4 player, who knows?
After tier 3, I feel like there's no more tiers anymore.
There's gonna be a lot of tiers if we trade Zach LaVine. That's for sure.
Yeah, that was the latest report. So we'll see, man. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. And I think this finals was, regardless of whatever the ratings say, I think it was awesome.
It was great. Yeah,
it was filled with everything you needed.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
From an entertainment standpoint, from a basketball standpoint, it was great.
Yeah, it had everything.
Drama.
In it. Yeah. It was
Fortunately,
fun.
the injuries, but
Yeah, that's part of the game, unfortunately, which does suck. But yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
So it was good. It was a good finals. So that was pretty much the end of episode 12.
Yeah.
It was a long one, but we had a lot to talk about.
Yeah. Been away for a while.
Exactly, and there was a lot to talk about, and I'm glad we were able to get together and get this episode together, especially with the finals ending yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was perfect timing. So I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Like I said, we'll have some more good news and some more posts coming forward about the announcement we made. If you guys just stay tuned and listen. But that was the wrap up episode 12. I'm gonna send it to Cam to send you guys off.
All right, guys. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like our Facebook page. It's CC TitleTown. Or you can also subscribe to our podcast. We're on YouTube, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts. It's all at CC TitleTown. Check you guys later.